Hey, Diane DeWald with CreativeCatCrafts.com. Welcome back to the channel. And Gina K designs their her September card kit. It's called A Little Something. And as of the recording of this video, which is Saturday, what day is it? October 4th at 2:20, there was still stock available for this entire card kit. But today, we're going to concentrate on this 3D embossing folder, which has a coordinating stencil, you see it here, and die, which cuts out an ornament. So we're going to make an ornament card. Gina K did a sample of this, a tutorial on one of her videos, and we're going to do something very similar with just a slight twist. So I've already got some cards that I had done up, and this one, it was basically, I followed Gina K along with this. This was the color scheme. I chose a little bit different on the background and really liked it. So I did another one. Like I said, I was really playing with this. And I just chose the one blue. And this is, and I'll show you this, we're going to use this word die. It's a Merry Christmas word die, and then it's got a coordinating shadow. And I was doing a little playing around with it. So you've got the black matte with the white letters. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm using Stardream metallic cardstock. So it has sparkle, but the camera's not picking it up. So this was, oh, what was that white? It's called, that's Onyx. It's called Eris, is this color here. This is their rose gold. I believe they still have, they have it in stock. Their regular bright gold, it's out of stock because, you know, it's that season. And then before I show you this card, I'm going to flip this card over because I don't want you to see it yet, because that's what we're going to make today. I tried doing some ink blending, kind of like this two-tone here, and I didn't pay attention to color theory, and it got muddy, a little bit muddy. So this one I didn't like, so I'm not making a card with that one. And here's the card we're going to make today. I think the black background, I know black and Christmas, but this just is stunning. And this is actually that Eris metallic Stardream metallic cardstock on a black mat, and it just kind of, the matte just disappears into the background. And instead of gold today, we're going to do this in silver. So let's get started. Oh, before we do, this is the embossing folder. I went ahead and embossed a piece of cardstock, and this is just so fun. And I don't know if you can see it, the ornament is right there in the middle. So let me grab the die, and it basically just lines up there in the middle, and that's what you end up cutting out. So you actually cut the cardstock before you emboss. So that's what we're going to do today. So let me pause you, and I will be right back with everything ready to go. Okay, I've already gone ahead and cut out from Christmas Red, the ornament, and we're going to emboss that here in a minute. And this is the silver Stardream metallic, sorry for that glare, that I cut 2 of these out. I can't remember if I'm going to need 1 or 2, but those are the pieces I cut out of that. And this is the Merry Christmas, the sentiment, and then it's shadow. I'm going to cut the shadow out of black, and I'll show you the Stardream here in a minute. I'm also going to cut out of black, the black Onyx cardstock. This is the basket weave cover plate. I'm going to cut one of these out as well. So before I cut those, I have this double-sided adhesive. It's paper thin, so it doesn't add a lot of bulk to your die cuts, which I just absolutely love. It's from, and I'm going to mispronounce it, Couture Creations, and I believe I got this from Amazon, so I will have a link down below. So in the meantime, what I like to do with this, because this is, what is this? This is 5-inch. So I basically just, let me turn it around. Just, it's easier for me to do it this way, just because I'm dominantly right-handed. And it's gonna, this is a 5.5 by 4.25 piece of cardstock, and it's gonna shoot over the edges on the top and the bottom. But I just want to tack it down, and then I use a box cutter, and I just cut along, don't cut yourself, the edge of the cardstock, and that way it just peels away just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get the pieces I need die cut, and then I will be right back, and we can do this embossing of this ornament and get things inked up, embossed, and go from there. So hang on. Okay, so I've got the Merry Christmas, I've got this cover plate punched out. Now, this die is very delicate, and I had to save, this is the dot from the eye, so I've saved that. If you have this die set, make sure that you save that when you're separating the die from the background or the rest of the cardstock. So I just peeled off everything, and I'm going to try to get this down. I don't really have a easy way about doing this, and it's not yeah, I'm making a mess of this because it's not centered properly. I don't know if I'll be able to pull this up without ripping and destroying it. So there, I got the M. I should have used my tweezers on this. So I'm showing you what not to do. Need to get that scrunched a little. These delicate dies. Okay, there we go. Oof. Sometimes that's harrowing. I don't know about you, but that was harrowing. Okay, so I've saved the dot. Let's see if the backing is still on it. Yes, it was. So gently peel that off. And I have that tiny little dot on the end of this is my Cricut. I love my Cricut weeder. I don't know what the official name of it is, but I love this thing. It's perfect for this. Okay, so the other thing we're going to go ahead and get as much of the card base done as possible. So I've got, let me back you out just a little bit so you can see better. So I've got the Merry Christmas done. I've got this pulled out. Don't need that weeding tool. Master Layout 1, the larger, so this is rectangle 1 and this is rectangle 2. And I don't remember the exact dimensions of this off the top of my head. That's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, the larger. And the smaller rectangle is 3 3/4 and by 5. So I've gone ahead and cut out from black onyx. This is going to be what we affix that to. This is the larger rectangle. It's that metallic Stardream. So that's going to be our front of the card, and this is going to be the inside of our card. I am matting with that metallic silver. So let's go ahead and get all of that glued together and decide what card base we want. I am not doing anything fancy on the inside of this one because the front is really fancy. So I will just stamp a greeting on the inside when I decide who's getting the card. Love liquid glue because it lets me move that mat around. So here's the fun part. Oops, I've got some white fuzz. It picked it up from my cutting plate. So I'm going to do a thin bead around the edge. And I went to a stamp convention yesterday, and I need to break it out and show it to you because I thought it was the greatest invention, so you don't have to use these little glue bottles. It's in my bag. I should have broken it out and showed it to you now. It's a product with glue dots, micro glue dots. So you know the Gina K Designs micro dot tape runner. It's the same concept except it's sheets. Absolute sheets of these micro dots, and you peel it back, you peel the backing or the cover back. I'm going to stop talking for a minute so I get this centered where I want it. I have glue everywhere. That white glue will disappear. It dries clear, and I'm going to get this big block and set that on there. So this micro dot adhesive, it's a sheet, and it's got a cover, a silicone back cover that you peel away. You put your die cut down, you put the cover back on, and you burnish it down. You peel up the cover and you peel the die off, and all those little micro dots are on the back of that die cut. It is the coolest product I have seen in a long time in the adhesive world. Okay. We're going to use that big block again because when I get this done on the silver, we're just going to set it aside and let it adhere for a while we work on the ornament. So let me just move that over to my standby table and get that going. We'll figure out card base color at the end when we put this together. So, easiest thing to do with this guy is you can use pixie tape, minty tape, whatever you have handy. And I need to figure out, so the concave goes on the top. That's going to be the easiest thing. And I'm going to go ahead and get a couple of these cut or torn over here on the side so that I can peel them up and work them. So I think you can see it there down at the bottom. I want that to be centered on the point at the bottom. And then I'm checking the edges on the left and the right, and then the top to make sure that embossing is all correct and where I want it. And I put these little tape pieces on the wrong side. More. And then I'm going to close this. No, my fingers are sticking to it. I must have some glue on them. Okay, so it's going to stay like this. Let me move this because I'm going to grab my Gina K die cutting machine. And I'm not letting go of this embossing folder because I don't want that to move. So all you need is the platform and this. Sorry for that glare. So I'm going to put those two together, and on her, I'll show you the insert when we're done here in just a moment. I think I have it. Yes, I do. So on her insert for her 3D embossing folders, place your cardstock. Well, we did that. Turn the setting dial and set it to 2D emboss and set the tension dial to 3. That's your starting point. So on the side, you've got this one here is your upper one. It's set to 2D. And I have this one set just a little little tighter, no, looser than 3. It's like 4 point something. And let me move you out just a smidge so you can see what's going on here. So all I'm doing, you don't want to force your folder through. It should easily go through. And sorry for the shaking table. And I know Gina and Jennifer McGuire, they roll it backwards and forwards. I don't do that. That's just my personal preference. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. And here you can see it a little better. That's set to 2D emboss. And then you see, I'm actually about 4.5, or 3.5. So my machine at 3 was just a little bit too tight and the cardstock was cracking. And I know you can wet it. I don't particularly care to wet my cardstock, personal preference. And then you just peel this minty tape or pixie tape or whatever you're using, just gently. And if your cardstock starts to tear, stop. Don't continue to pull it. Just cut it off and leave it on the back. It's not going to hurt anything. I've had really good luck with the scrapbook.com minty tape. It comes in all different sizes. I think I've got 1/8, 3/8, ½ inch, 1 inch. I forget all the different colors or sizes. So look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love this. So we're going to stencil. I need my Misty. The reason I need my Misty is I need my grip mat. I know Gina uses the grip. It's not a grip mat. It's the, oh, I've got one here. Whoops, sorry for that noise. It is a grip mat, and it's well loved. And in fact, I use that for, you can see the outline of the ornament. So, but we're going to use this today. Because, you know, multiple tools. So I'm just going to place that down. I'm going to get my stencil. And there is a front and a back. And I look down here and it says GS109. That's the SKU number. So I know the minute this is down here on the right-hand side, I know this is correctly oriented. So let me get you in closer. I'm going to move that. And I line up those 3 little dots here in the center. And then I make sure everything else is also lined up. And because this is more of a pigment ink, here, I'm going to do something crazy here. If this was a dye-based ink, I wouldn't care at all. But because this is that metallic ink, I really don't want a lot of metallic ink on my grip mat. So I'm just protecting. It's probably not needed. It's my OCD. What I like to do to protect my things. Because the last thing I want to do is destroy this. Okay, and I have my ink stand. I'm using Honeybee Stamps, their metallic silver pigment ink, and just a sponge dauber. And I'll load this up just gently, but I want this ink all over the place because as soon as we're done getting this inked up, we're going to throw some silver embossing powder on it and get this shiny. Okay, let me cover that ink and get that foam dauber off to the side. I'm going to peel these away. And this, I'll wash this pigment ink off of this stencil. Oh, that's so beautiful. Let me grab, I have a few seconds or more. Get that out of the way. And oh, you know one thing I forgot to do? I forgot to use my little buddy. Yes, I did. I did forget to use my little buddy. And I'll move you away just slightly. Try not to mess that up at all. I don't want to smear that ink. And we're just going to sprinkle this on. And oh, that's not too bad. I don't have a lot of, there's some because I didn't use the embossing buddy. There's some, but that's okay. It just adds a little extra sparkle and gives you the idea. While I'm talking, I'm gonna go ahead and get my heat gun rolling. If you've got some extra around it that's not on the ink, if you've seen vintage or from my childhood, the ornaments that you used to hang on the tree, they would have that gold and it'd be kind of tarnished. So I think this is hot enough now. Yep. So we're just going to go ahead and try to hold that down a little. Yep, it's definitely hot enough because I can see that starting to melt. Wonderful. Oh, I love it. No. Gotta turn it. Oh, I love it. I love it. That is so pretty. Look at all that shine. And I can tell I got that slightly off when I ran it through. So it's, you know, trial and error, and it's okay that it's not 100%. So let me pause you. I'm going to go ahead and go wash this stencil and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we get to make the decision. Do we like the red or do we like the white? So that was the gold on a white, and I'm really liking this gold, silver, and black tone. I think that's what we're going to go with. So let's get this together. I love how this is turning out. So let me get, I'm going to need a couple more tools. Get that fold. And my glue. sure that, I don't know how many of you have put panels on backwards. I know I have. So before we get that front, let's get this interior panel put into the middle of the card. There's some fuzz. Yep. Perfect. There. And then this guy, we're going to pop up. So I'm using my leftover Stampin' Up! Dimensionals because you know I've said it before, I have a ton of these things. Just an absolute ton of them. And trying to get this semi-centered. There. And then one of these guys, I'm going to cut. Oh, I need a strip. Where are my little snips? I don't know what happened to my little snips. So I'll use different snips. And backside. Get this guy up here on the top. Whoop. Yeah, that was crooked. So I gotta straighten that out. There. I like it. Slightly different silver, but it works. I think it works. And then my Merry Christmas, I'm going to put down here. And you see how that just disappears? Oh, I love it. And I need the small guys. Let me move you just a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. And if you're on a big 76-inch TV, like I occasionally do when I watch Gina's release party, because I don't want to miss any details. My husband walks in and he's like, "Whoa, what are you watching?" Because it's like big and beautiful and right there. Oop, I already took the back off that one. An in-your-face type of situation when I'm watching it on the 76-inch screen. And do it from the bottom. I'm going to try to get this straight before I would help if, whoa, that's like really crooked. I think it's the Merry Christmas. Very crooked. And then we used crystal clear iridescent. And these are Spellbinders. These are the silver discs from Spellbinders. And we're just going to throw some of these on here where I think they'll look the prettiest. All right, my pick and stick tool. And these have a concave side. Oh, there were two of them there. Two of those little guys stuck together. I think that's another one that has two. Yep, look at that. I had three on that one. Wow. Yeah, there's static. Oh, yeah, three of those stuck together. And the glue I'm using is, oops, I had it the right way. Yep, and I had multiples. The glue I'm using is white when it goes down, but then it dries clear. Okay, so here are the cards that use this Joyful Ornament 3D embossing folder, and they're coordinating die and embossing folder. I think this is really pretty. Let me zoom you out just a bit so you can see all the sparkle and shine on this. I really like the silver. I love the gold, but I'm a silver girl. Let me know down in the comments if you're a silver or a gold jewelry. I grew up with gold and then I became silver, and I really love how this pops off the page. Now, right now as the recording of this video, this card kit from September is still available, but if it's not available, I have an alternative for you. I just need to find my pieces and I'll show them to you. Okay, so here's the alternative. I've already got the card base. You can see that it's the same background, the glue's drying, and I've got the Merry Christmas already done. If you've got the Gina K Designs holiday toppers, you've got all of these toppers. And then from one of my previous videos, I did these circles, and these are all the different circles in the master layouts. And I want to do, I think, 2 ornaments. So maybe one that size. Nope, that's too big. Let's do one this size. And then oh, those are the same size. So master, let's just pull out master layout 3, those circles. And then for the topper, we're going to decide which topper. That's too big. That actually might work. And then this one. Yep, those 2 toppers. So I'm going to cut those out of silver. And then let me grab the master layout 3 and I'll be right back. So I went ahead and grabbed the master layout 3, the 1 7/8, and this one here, the 1 3/4, it had a stitching to it and I didn't want stitching, so I grabbed the master layout 7, the 1 1/2. So those are the 2 circle dies that we're going to use. And you decide, let's see, 1 1/2, and then master layout 3, the 1 7/8. So I'm writing it down, and I've already gone ahead and there, it popped out. Cut out my toppers from the metallic silver Stardream cardstock. I just love the sheen on that. Look at that. It's so beautiful. So let me grab from master layout 16 these wavy lines, and we're going to put together the background and then use these dies to cut out. So regular piece of copy paper. I'm going to start with the red, and this is the Christmas red, and I'm going to go cut a little piece out. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cut it out, and I'm going to grab a silicone sheet just in case if the glue gets over the edge. But I'm going to go ahead and glue this first one down. I'm using more glue than I normally would, just because we're going to cut shapes out of this and I want it to make sure I get it right. So I also want to make sure I have this die in the same orientation, and I'm going to go cut out a piece of silver. So I'll be right back. And actually I'm going to cut the top edge, and I'm going to grab and cut the bottom edge as well. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I brought the whole platform over just because you need to keep these straight. So we don't need this one anymore. That's scrap. And then this is the piece that's going to fit right here. So let's go ahead and get this glued down, and then we'll work on the next piece. And I want glue along the edges because that's where we are going to cut. And just slide it and bump it right up against. Okay, so this die in this orientation, I need my red underneath. And then I'm going to take this next wavy die. My platform is moving on me, so hang on a minute. Tape these down so they don't, my magnetic plate is moving things around on me, so hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove this tape gently. We'll probably use it again. And this is the piece we're gonna, it actually will go with the other. And this is the item that's gonna come up in here. It's supposed to come up in there. There. I shifted it over a little. So when you glue it down, just make sure the pieces butt up against one another. Just like that. That's why I'm using thin copy paper. So, okay, that's going to be the top of the silver that we're going to want. And then we're going to use this die down here at the bottom. Now, don't jump around on me. I'll be right back. Okay, and marching right along. Piece we don't need. And this will fit right into here. Yep, okay. Just checking. And we'll slide that in just like that. Move you in just a smidge so you can kind of see what goes on. And it's okay, the edges aren't even. We're gonna fix that. So let's do one more of red. This was, let me flip this plate over. This was the bottom die. See how that's the bottom die? And I need that to be the top. And there. Where's my plate? Okay, let me go cut this. Okay. So that piece we'll put up there because I'm going to show you a trick here. And then this one just fits. Oops, got some cardstock dust along the edge. I keep marching these across the page. Oh my goodness. Okay. Come on. There we go. Right up there. And while that dries, I have another piece of copy paper. And these are the pieces that were leftovers from before. And ooh, Too much glue. But that gives me the ability to slide that just like this. And just like this. And this silver. We're just going to glue the whole piece down. I want that a little closer to the edge on the glue. Oop, just like that. All right. Let that cure for just a couple seconds. Move those out of the way so I don't lose those. We'll go to this original. And I'm going to take my circle. Try to figure out what looks the best. I like those. And I'm just going to tape these down and go run them through the die machine. I'll be right back. Okay, and let's see what we got. That's a cute Christmas ornament. Ah, this tape wants to stick to I have glue on my fingers, so this tape is like really sticking to me. And ornament number 2. Isn't that cute? I love those. So let's go ahead, and I need some more dimensionals. Let's get these guys popped up. Oh, I see one itty bitty problem, but we're going to fix it. So let's pull these off. We don't need this. I thought we might need that piece. And that's going to be the furthest down. So there's that. And this is a very thin. So how am I going to attach that? We're going to glue the end. Oh, I really need to go wash my hands because they are very sticky. And I'm going to put this is such a delicate piece. I'm just putting glue right there on the back. I'm not going to try to pop it up. Try to get that straight. Hold that down. Just like that. Ooh, that's not anywhere close to straight. There, how's that? That's a little better. And that's a little off center. Oh my goodness. Okay, that works. And then this guy, I think we're going to do it this way. Just like that. And then this one, we're going to end up cutting. So I need snips. Because it's going to go right there. And there. Okay. Same thing. I'm just going to glue this little stem down. And you know what? I should have popped that up. Yeah, I don't like that. I need small, 2 smalls. I can see the glue on my fingers. Ugh. Okay. This is what happens when you do a card on the fly. Okay, I'm just going to hold that down for just a second. And then the Merry Christmas. And I need little guys. Okay, let's get this guy on here. And here's my silver. I think this is cute. Do just a few blings in this one. I think I controlled the static when I'm in this pour. Whoops, no I didn't. And there you are. I think this is kind of cute. That's a little crooked, but it's okay. So where's my other card? Here we are. Here we go. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you stuck around for the alternative, if you didn't pick up the card kit, I think it turned out very cute. So let me pull you out just a smidge. You can see all my mess. So thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you would click the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell so that you receive all the notifications when I upload new content. I'll have everything listed down below. A lot of it is affiliate links. If you would shop through those links, I will earn a very small commission, which I put back into my channel so that I can provide content just like this. And until next time, happy stamping.